Here we are with Disturbed, rocking the range, Fancy Bands, Cosmos Gaming, and his amazing mustache. First thing I gotta ask you is, get the basic questions out of the way.
If you want some fucking personality? That's good, buddy. Alright, let's go.
If there's 3 animals to represent your band, what would they be?
A tiger. Let's see here. What else? I don't know. This is, these are dumb, silly questions, but I'll play along. All right, tiger. Let's say, because it's a ferocious beast, and that's the way we feel our music is. It's just all about the attack for us. Let me see. What else could we represent? I think, and a lot of people understand this, but I grew up with horses. I think a horse, because the horses are very noble creatures, and I feel at the end of the day, the messages that David is. Am I looking at the camera or you? What do you want here?
Anything you want.
I'm confused. Okay. I think at the end of the day, the messages that David is saying, they're very well thought out, and so there's a certain nobleness to his lyrics. He takes real responsibility in what he does. So horses to me are very noble creatures. So a tiger, a horse, and then maybe an elephant. Just because we feel that there's what we try to do is we play powerful music. Powerful drums, powerful guitar licks. So I think those 3 together maybe could help sum up, a bit of what Disturbed's about in the animal kingdom.
One thing I was wondering is, you guys have been a band for a while. You guys have been, headlining festivals. You did Mayhem Fest. I mean, everyone knows who Disturbed is. You definitely placed your mark on the map. But before all this glory and all the actual, opportunities that you've been given, what was one of the worst experiences you've had, being in a van, trying to get to your next place? What was an experience that will never leave you?
Man, there's so many. There's anybody who's done anything in the rock and metal world has had to pay dues. There's no overnight successes. Even bands that have hits that just went, straight up the chart, you still have to earn your cred with your audience, and you got to go out every night and play. Bands that just have a hit on the radio and then go and suck live don't have a career. All they end up with is a hit on the radio. So any band who's had any measure of success, has had to pay dues. And part of that paying dues, obviously, you play everywhere. I played every, tiny little club to every little bathroom that there is all over, I think some of the worst experiences in general are when you do a show and afterward you gotta take a shit and you can't find any place clean to do it. That's nasty, Oh man, I got a great one.
Uh-oh. Here it comes.
Years ago, I was touring with a band. Before I was in Disturbed, there was a band called Union Underground, and we were touring in a van. And we were pulling an all-nighter driving, and we got fucked up the night before drinking. And so I was in the back seat, and it was like band and crew all together in the van. And our drum tech was next to me. And I wake up, and we're still driving, and I'm like, oh, I'm all bleary. I slept like this. And I reach down, there's like a green tinted bottle of water. It was a green bottle, So I reach down, and everybody else is asleep. My drum tech's next to me asleep. I grab it, I take off the cap to take a drink. Right before it gets to my mouth, he stops me. He goes, I just pissed in that.
Oh.
I was like, oh my God.
Man.
Oh my God. I'm like, I owe you one, buddy, because he could have let it go. He could have just been like, let's see what happens now. He probably didn't want me to puke all over him, though. So yeah.
No, that's good.
Things have changed now. Now we got bottles of water where I can see clearly that it's water.
I mean, imagine your life
Only clear bottles now. Those green ones I don't trust.
Yeah, now you got a phobia for that shit.
Yeah.
You gotta take care of yourself.
Watch out.
But I mean, you guys have been a band for a while as Disturbed. I'm sure you guys have a family feel. I'm sure you also have a lot of rules on your tour bus, the no-nos. What is the biggest no-no on your tour bus?
Probably no smoking.
No smoking?
Simple stuff like that. Yeah. None of us smoke. And it's just, between our, David's taking care of his voice, and there's no reason for us to have that kind of environment,
Yeah.
That's kind of a big one, because it does become a grueling, I know people think, oh, how hard's your job, but it becomes a grind after a while, and you're playing 4 and 5 nights a week, and it's enough just to find inspiration within yourself to give the audience everything every night. That's our job. We don't phone it in, and there are no fucking sick days. And so whenever if it was like smoking on the bus, man, if that affects David's voice the tiniest bit, it's not worth it.
Exactly.
Because we want to bring our A game every time. So I mean, that's one of the simple rules right off the bat.
All right. Is there anything like, what's like the main food that you guys always have on the bus? Like, it's the Disturbed food.
I mean, we actually all have different treats. I like goldfish.
All right.
And I like wine. And you'd be surprised how well goldfish and wine go together.
I can imagine.
You know, like wine and cheese, you know, but goldfish.
Wine and goldfish.
It's fucking good.
So in your off time,
like really expensive wine and cheap ass goldfish. I fucking love it.
Really?
Big gallon.
It's the fucking.
We might just have to try it. That's a new thing fans have got to try. You want to be like Disturbed, wine and goldfish.
Yep.
You guys do any video games? You guys watch a lot of movies? What are you guys doing in your off time?
A lot of video games, definitely.
All right.
David and I especially are gamers. David's like a fucking killer gamer, man. He'll solve like the hardest games in 2 days.
Damn.
Oh, he tears through them. I'm not quite as good as he is, but I like to play a lot. You know, you watch movies sometimes to pass time. Those are the big things, you know. I love first-person shooters, and actually, me and my wife like to kill zombies together. So even when I'm home and we're not touring, instead of like watching a movie at night, her and I will pull out the Xbox and fucking play Left 4 Dead or some other zombie thing, killing zombies together. That's how we bond.
To be honest, I thought you were about to say you guys were going to dress up as zombies and pretend to kill each other for fun, but
you're kinky.
I mean, you guys.
Who's the fucking freak?
You're rock stars, man. You're allowed to do anything like that, you know?
Yeah.
Out of all the years that you've been touring, what has been like the one band you've noticed that when you drink, party, hang out, they're the coolest dudes to be around? What's your favorite band to be around, personally?
Well, sadly, they're no longer with us, but Dimebag Darrell was the funnest fucking dude to party with, and you know who else? Dave Williams from Drowning Pool. And I can't say enough about how cool both those guys were and how wrong it was that they were taken from us.
Yeah. So, I mean, do you think about it a lot? Does that hit you pretty hard?
Yeah,
when
absolutely.
You're like having a good time?
Yeah, friends of ours and drinking buddies, and they were always made sure that everybody was having a good time around them, and when you hung out with those guys, you felt like a rock star.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't about them. It was about. That was amazing. I can't say enough about both those guys. Had that same thing about them that they could, and there's no secret why they were best friends too. Dave passed first, and at Dave's funeral, Dime was a mess. Just, you know, a mess. He lost his best friend. And then Dime passed. He's like, are you fucking shitting me? You know, this is ridiculous. The two nicest guys ever to get taken. But yeah, those guys were great, you know. I mean, we have great bands we party with now. Just the other night, we're hanging out with Stone Sour and Papa Roach. Oh, Papa Roach guys are a fucking blast. So, you know, it's nice, you know, when we've been doing it for 10 or, you know, as long as we have 10 years, you know, we got some friends out here, you know,
Yeah.
and, you know, we cross paths, you know, we never say goodbye. It's always till next time.
Yeah. So, I mean, you guys have a lot of opportunities where you guys are the headlining band. So, I mean, what's the one thing Disturbed would be known for when you take, like, when you bring bands out? Like, are you always making sure everyone's okay? Are you guys always making sure everyone's fed? Like, what's the one thing that you guys do to, like, take care of the other bands?
When it's our tour and we have, you know, control over it, catering's usually pretty good. Another thing too, you know, we don't limit bands as far as what they can do sound-wise. You know, they don't have a dB level. Like, we don't say, well, we have to sound louder than you, so you can only get this loud. You know, so we don't limit them. You know, whatever show they want to do, you know, we allow them to do. And you know, we're not afraid, because the truth is, we want a band to go out there and kick our ass, so that we feel like we need to step up and bring our A game.
Yeah.
So I want to be inspired. I want to go out and watch whoever's on before us. I want to go out and watch them and go, fuck, man, I got to bring it tonight. You know what I mean? I don't want to go out and be like, oh, fuck, these guys again. You know?
No, of course.
So it's important to us that we have bands that not only, you know, hopefully add value to the tour, but also are bands that we personally like and are inspired by.
See, I mean, I feel like that really shows, because Music as a Weapon is your tour, and the last year when you had like Spineshank and Killswitch and all those other bands, you had some bands that I was like, why the fuck are these bands touring with Disturbed? I was like, do they really know about these bands? Do they really like these bands? Like, that's awesome. So, what has been the one band that you brought on to that tour that you were just absolutely blown away by?
Korn. We just did Music as a Weapon with Korn. We co-headlined.
Yeah.
And to be able to do that with a band like that is just a gift, because they've done it all. You know, they're the you know, as successful as we've been, they've been more successful. So to be able to do a flip-flop co-headliner, every other night it was a different opener. So they'd headline one night, we'd headline the next night. That was the best.
I got one last question for you. It's gonna be, you're gonna have to think about this one. All right, out of all the members in your group, I know there's not a lot, but
All 4 of us.
who has the worst fart and what is his worst flavor of fart?
It'd be me, and it'd be Jaeger.
A Jaeger fart? What would you probably name
I have like
that
a real
fart?
high metabolism, so like, you know, if you go into the bathroom after me, you're fucked.
And what would you name your fart? Like your style of farting?
I don't even know. It would be the creeper.
Creeper?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for your time. It's been awesome with you. That's been Disturbed, an inside look of personality.
Right on.
All right. Have a good night.